It was supposed to be the happiest day of her life. A white dress, a handwritten vow, and her best friend by her side. But 3 days before the wedding, she was found dead, in a bathtub, with no water in her lungs. Her name was Natalie Kingsley, age 29, art curator, beloved daughter, bride-to-be, and the woman who planned her wedding may have planned her murder. Natalie was elegance personified. Chiffon dresses, vintage cameras, art shows, and herbal tea. She lived life like it was a museum curation. Beautiful, quiet, carefully arranged. She was set to marry Aaron Beckley. Tall, reserved, a tech analyst with a smile only Natalie could read. They met at a gallery auction. 6 months later, he proposed with a ring hidden in a frame. Natalie said yes. The wedding, set for October 14th. Venue, Belgrove Manor. Planner, her best friend, Claire Devon. Claire, the childhood bestie. Florist, designer, obsessive planner. She wasn't just the maid of honor. She was the architect of the day. Every bloom, every dress fitting, every table layout. But friends began to notice. Claire wasn't planning the wedding for Natalie. She was planning it around her. She wanted total control. Natalie said she wanted peonies. Claire replaced them with lilies. She'd say, "Trust me, it'll look better in photos." But Natalie's photo would be taken post-mortem. October 11th. 3 days to I do. At 6:44 p.m., Natalie texts Claire, "Can't wait for tomorrow. Dress fitting, playlist, girls' night 2 hearts." At 7:38 p.m., Natalie is found unresponsive. 911, "What's your emergency?" "She's in the tub. She's not breathing. There's water everywhere, but the tub is empty." Dispatcher, "Is she alive?" Caller, "No. Oh God. She's cold. She's gray." Caller name, Claire Devon. No signs of struggle. No drugs. No alcohol. No forced entry. But something was wrong. She looked posed, like someone had arranged her. Cause of death? Asphyxiation, consistent with drowning. Except, there was no water in her lungs. And then, Natalie's laptop revealed something chilling. Google searches. Is drowning without water possible? Wedding vow playlist ideas. Hidden cameras for event security. And in her private diary, a phrase, written 3 times. Claire knows everything. Belgrove Manor. Private. Secure. Gated. For people had the code. Natalie, Aaron, the photographer, and Claire. Security logs show someone entered the code at 2:17 a.m., the night before Natalie died. That code belonged to Claire. Claire's side business? Moon and Mallow Botanicals. Specialty, preserved exotic blooms, using nitrogen vapor. 1 canister was missing. Did you kill Natalie Kingsley? Claire pauses, smiles. Do you believe in soulmates, detective? No denial, no emotion, just a riddle. She invoked her rights and walked out. 3 weeks later, a journalist receives an anonymous email. Subject line, "She knew." Attachment, security cam footage. Time, 7:22 p.m. Natalie, pacing in her bathroom. She stares into the mirror. Her lips move. No sound. She mouths something, then the screen cuts to static. 10 seconds later, a shadow appears in the hallway, moving slow. They say weddings are about love, trust, forever. But Natalie Kingsley never made it down the aisle, because the one holding her veil might have been holding the syringe. Was it jealousy, obsession, or something darker? The truth is still out there, waiting, watching, whispering. They buried Natalie Kingsley in her wedding dress, the veil stained with tears, the bouquet never thrown. But as the town mourned, Claire Devon vanished. 2 weeks after Natalie's death, Claire's flower shop closed overnight. She didn't show up to the funeral. No calls, no texts. A note was found in her apartment, folded neat, with 3 words, I finished it. She's off the grid. Bank accounts frozen. Car left at a bus terminal in Edge Hollow. Detective Ramos, case lead. But she wasn't running. She was performing. 2 days later, a USB drive arrived at the station. No return address. Just a white rose taped to the envelope. Inside, video footage. Timestamped one night before Natalie died. Claire, wearing a bridal veil, standing in a forest clearing. She's whispering something. A man stands across from her, but his face is obscured. She says, "I now pronounce us together." Then she kisses him, and the screen goes black. Who filmed it? Where was it? And who was she marrying? Aaron Beckley, Natalie's fiancé, was brought in again. He hadn't spoken publicly since the funeral, but this time he cracked. She said she loved both of us. I thought it was grief. I thought she needed space. But then I got the letter, a single envelope, postmarked after Claire disappeared. Inside, a photo of Natalie and Claire, age 16, wearing wedding veils. On the back, scribbled in pencil, it was always going to be her. Natalie and Claire were inseparable. But not just best friends. Not just childhood playmates. A childhood pact. Pretend wedding. A secret. Not so imaginary. We often underestimate the power of childhood imprinting. If one person locks onto a fantasy, and the other moves on, that fracture can become dangerous. The investigation turned inward. Claire had motive. Claire had opportunity. But one question haunted them. Did Claire act alone? New DNA evidence emerged. Traces found on Natalie's necklace, the one she never took off. Not Claire's. Not Aaron's. Not anyone in the guest list. A partial match to an unidentified male relative. Claire didn't have a brother, but she had a father she never spoke about. Local florist charged with arson, daughter survives blaze. The man's name? Michael Devon. Released on parole. 6 months ago, October 9th. A man is seen outside Natalie's apartment at 3:02 a.m. He never knocks. He never enters. He just stands there, watching. And then, he smiles at the camera, like he knows we're watching. Authorities trace the forest footage. A location ping hits in Silver Ridge Preserve. The search begins. They find the clearing. Petals scattered. Candles melted. And in the soil, a makeshift altar. Photos of Natalie. Burned corners. A handwritten phrase in ash. "You were always mine." And under the dirt, a wedding ring. Inscribed on the inside, C and N forever. But that wasn't all. One final object buried beneath the altar. A flash drive. Labeled, "I filmed everything." There are moments we can't unsee. Images that carve themselves into the back of your eyelids. This was one of them. The footage was raw, unedited, nearly 2 hours long. Everything Claire Devon wanted us to see, and everything she didn't. It begins with trees, branches swaying, wind howling like a warning. Then, a flicker of candlelight, and Claire appears, wearing a black wedding gown. "I've waited long enough." She made promises, and promises have consequences. Her voice is calm, but her eyes are feral. For the next 10 minutes, Claire narrates their past. Playdates, matching bracelets, secret pacts. She talks to the camera like it's Natalie, and then the camera pans to something else. A mannequin, dressed in Natalie's wedding gown, its head wrapped in a bridal veil. Then the footage distorts. For 5 seconds, a new face appears. A man, middle-aged, bearded, watching. He speaks, but the audio is warped. Only one word is clear. Midnight. We isolated the voice, ran it through 2 enhancement programs. Match found, Michael Devon, Claire's father, the man no one had seen in 2 decades. Detectives attempt to reopen the arson case, but the trail is cold. The parole address? Fake. The parole officer? Retired. Michael Devon is a ghost. But now, he's on camera. And Natalie wasn't his only obsession. Inside Claire's abandoned flower shop, they found a box, labeled in black marker, Project Promise. Inside, dozens of photos, all brides, all missing, 8 women, all disappeared between 2010 and 2019. Each one had ties to a wedding business. Florists, planners, dressmakers, all clients of Claire or her father. This wasn't just a crime. It was a pattern. Claire walks into a clearing. Camera turns to her, but someone else is holding it. A man. He's whispering her vows as she repeats them. Then he asks, "Do you take her spirit? Forever?" Claire nods. They both look at the camera, smile, and then they both say, "We do." The screen glitches, turns to static, but one last frame flashes. For half a second, Natalie's face, eyes wide, mouth open, as if screaming. Investigators freeze the frame, enhance, and find something else. Behind Natalie, a wall, covered in photographs, dozens, and in the corner, a calendar, with one date circled in red. October 31st, Halloween, 12 days away. The same day another bride was set to disappear, one who had just hired Claire before she vanished. Her name? Emily Rains. Still missing, still unsolved. And now, her wedding gown has just been found, laid out on the altar in the forest. She's next. Who was the real mastermind? What happened to Emily Rains? And what sick ceremony is scheduled for Halloween night? The answers may be buried in a garden of bones. They said it was a wedding, but it was never about love. It was about possession, and the promise never to leave. October 31st, the day Emily Rains was meant to say, "I do." Instead, her gown was found on a stone altar, her name etched into the wood, her engagement ring bent in half. But Emily wasn't there. Not yet. We believe this was staged, a performance. But the real ceremony? That's still coming. They had 24 hours, and no trail, until a voice called in from 200 miles away. "You're looking in the wrong place. She's not in the forest. She's under the garden." Click. No caller ID. No trace. The flower shop had already been searched. But now, with cadaver dogs and ground sonar, they found it. A false floor beneath the hydrangea beds leads to a staircase. Wooden, molded, ancient, and at the bottom, a door, chained shut. From the inside, the smell hit them first. Decay, roses, gasoline. Then the lights flickered on, one by one, and the truth bloomed. A hidden room, walls lined with wedding photos, dozens of mannequins dressed in bridal gowns. In the center, an antique vanity, and a name carved into the mirror. Emily. Claire's voice, soft, gentle, almost lullaby-like. She said no, so we had to make her say yes. She just needed time. Then, another voice, male, gritty, laughing. "She'll walk down the aisle, one way or another." They opened the second door. Inside, a staircase spiraling down again. Deeper, colder, older. It led to a tunnel. Brick walls, symbols carved in chalk, candle remnants, and dozens of footprints, small, barefoot, dragging. This wasn't the first bride. This wasn't the first ceremony. Claire and her father had been preparing this place for years. And the name Project Promise? It wasn't a vow. It was a cult. She told me I was chosen, said if I married the right way, I'd never die. They made me wear the dress. They made me stand in front of the mirror. When I refused, she said, "Then you'll become the dress." A photo is found. Claire, Michael Devon, and Natalie, but the date is wrong. It's dated 3 years before Claire and Natalie ever met. Meaning, Natalie wasn't the chosen one. She was the replacement. At the end of the tunnel, a final iron door, scratched into the surface. "Do not open before the wedding." Detectives waited, got a warrant, prepared a tactical team, and then, at 11:58 p.m., they opened it. The room inside was round, concrete, silent, a single chair, straps on the arms. a mirror directly across, and a wedding gown draped across it, still warm, recently worn. But no one was inside. Detective Ramos's cell phone rings. Blocked number. He answers. Silence. Then, Claire's voice. Emily says thank you for the dress. She's ready now. But this time, the groom's coming too. Click. Who is the true mastermind? Where is Emily now? And why was Aaron Beckley seen boarding a private bus to Edge Hollow the night before Halloween? The ceremony is almost complete, but the final vow is still waiting to be spoken. Lock your doors, check your mirrors, and don't answer the phone after midnight. The bride isn't alone anymore. In the heart of Edge Hollow, the clock tower struck midnight, a chilling resonance that marked the beginning and the end. Aaron Beckley, the groom-to-be, steps off a midnight bus, his eyes darting, searching. In his hand, a letter postmarked 2 days prior. The handwriting, unmistakably Claire's. The letter was an invitation, a final plea, or perhaps a trap. Candles illuminate the space, casting elongated shadows. At the altar, Claire stands, adorned in a tattered wedding gown, her eyes reflecting a tumultuous blend of emotions. You came. I knew you would. He hesitates, the weight of betrayal and love evident. Where is Emily? What have you done? A tear escapes, tracing a path down her cheek. She was in the way, just like Natalie. They never understood our bond. Moments of Claire and Aaron's past friendship, the unspoken feelings, the missed opportunities. I did it for us, so we could be together forever. The approaching authorities break the tense silence. It's over, Claire. They know everything. She steps back, reaching into the folds of her gown, producing a vial. If I can't have you, then no one will. He lunges forward, attempting to stop her. Claire, no. She collapses into Aaron's arms, the life fading from her eyes. Together, in the next life, detectives and officers surround the scene, the weight of the tragedy palpable. In the end, love, obsession, and betrayal led to this, a cycle of pain that claimed too many lives. Emily Raines is found alive, traumatized but resilient. Aaron Beckley, though heartbroken, becomes an advocate for mental health awareness. The town of Edge Hollow begins its journey toward healing, the shadows of the past slowly receding. This tale serves as a haunting reminder of the depths to which unbridled obsession can plunge the human soul. The thin line between love and obsession, affection, when tainted by possessiveness, can lead to devastating consequences. The importance of mental health awareness. Recognizing and addressing psychological issues can prevent tragedies. Community vigilance. Being attuned to the behaviors and well-being of those around us can make a difference. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the shadows. May we all strive to bring light to the darkness and understanding to the misunderstood. For more chilling true crime content, subscribe to this channel.